welcome to Blog Tornado. How are you? And today we're going to talk about this man that knows a little bit too much, more than he should, and his image somewhat just doesn't match what he's saying. But what he's saying is above many other stories I heard in the past as far as Zeta Reticuli goes. Now, the man is a sidekick, and he's able to read the future or whatnot. That's what sidekicks do. Personally, I cannot wrap around my mind around sidekicks. I'm a truth seeker, and the closest I can get to this is, as far as twins goes, they can communicate on some sort of telepathical level. If something happens to one, and most likely the other twin is going to feel it too. So that's the closest I can get as far as my 2 cents are concerned. But so again, this man doesn't have any other videos that he talks about Zeta Reticuli. So this is only one video that he made. But what he claims is that, so please stay with me to understand what the heck is going on here. It will just blow your mind away, okay? Because this is, I don't know how this is possible, but the reason I'm saying this is because I think that story is authentic, and that's what makes it all more interesting here. So please stay with me a little bit more to understand. And let me talk about this guy first before we get to the source. So now, his background is a tarot card reader. And now you have to wonder, this question of, do people have such abilities to telepathically foresee the future or whatnot, Is there such a thing, okay? I just had a horoscope read, and I have to tell you that there's something going on with these people that I personally cannot explain, and I'm sure you wondered before in the past. How are these sidekicks, these people, able to know what you have done or what's going on in your life? So this is the serious mystery as far as I'm concerned, because it's completely on a different level here, okay? Do such abilities actually exist? Personally, as a truth seeker, I rely on facts a lot, and therefore I lead to a bigger picture. I'm able to connect the dots, but those are all facts that are already been out there. But in this situation, it's a little bit different. These people are able to foresee the future, and I have experienced that many times, because there are many that really know where you're at in your life and what's going on, in your private life. So it's something to on a different level. It's like you're an X-Man. You have some kind of special supernatural powers here. But this man simply proves that fact, because once you check out his video, it looks like he's nothing like someone who would actually know such scientific facts. It doesn't match him what he says, but the fact that he's a psychic, that's the reason why he's able to tell us the story, because he supposedly received it from Zeta Reticuli. And if you're not familiar with Zeta Reticuli, I do talk a lot about that. It came up a few times in Barney and Betty Hill story, or Bob Lazar story, or Ivan 0135 channel. Okay, all this situations are mentioning about the Zeta Reticuli planet. So you kind of wonder, what the heck are they talking about here? This supposedly Betty Hill talks about this planet that happened to them in 1961. Kind of makes you wonder if those aliens actually exist. Are they really from Zeta Reticuli? And the UFO that supposedly military has in their possession, that Bob Lazar talked about, is supposedly from Zeta Reticuli as well. So is there some connection that UFO that Barney and Betty Hill saw in New Hampshire. Is there some sort of connection to the Bob Lazar story that perhaps that UFO ended up at S4? And he does talk about this UFO being shut down. One of the UFOs had like a mark of, looked like it was shut down with a lightning bolt or some sort of plasma bolt or something like that. And Bob Lazar mentions that. So you gotta wonder if military, got around that story about Barney and Betty Hill, what happened, and they were waiting for them again to come back, because Betty Hill talks about this. Extraterrestrial visitations were quite common to her. And once military got hold of their story, obviously, they must have been trying to capture this flying saucer, and that's what I think Bob Lazar is talking about, because Zeta Reticuli also comes up in his story there. So, but Ivan channel, like again, I talked about this, Ivan 0135 channel, also kind of shows on the footage that there was a UFO that got shut down, which kind of proves the fact that maybe that footage on Ivan's channel is actually authentic, because you can see a UFO on the ground damaged and one of the extraterrestrials on the ground. And we see that extraterrestrial footage quite often when they are doing some sort of examination, post-mortem examination, and you can see that there are similar aliens here. So could that footage be actually authentic, right? But anyways, furthermore, with this Zeta Reticuli situation, now this man, I think this man is telling us the truth, because again, he doesn't specialize in Zeta Reticuli or any kind of UFOs or anything like that. It's just one of his videos, that's it. And again, he's more of a psychic reader, right? Tarot card reader. And he said that the message was telepathically communicated to him. And that's why he was able to tell us what happened. And his story does seem to be very highly super interesting to me, at least, that, of the details that he goes into. You really have to be getting this source from somewhere that it's well thought of, if that was the case. Because to have something like that in your hand, you have to remember that that's hot information there, okay? So I would like to do whatever I can on my channel to put this man into a focus as far as Zeta Reticuli goes, okay? And I'd like to make a video of this so we know that it came from him, that this story came from him originally, unless you have some other source that you think that the story is from somewhere else. But it does make sense, because he says he's a psychic, so, they do have supposedly telepathic abilities, right? Like I said, twins have that, so there is possibility that some people can actually foresee the future. Again, I cannot wrap my mind around this. I'm more of a truth seeker, and I have to say that this story is super interesting to me. Again, is just way too many details for you to make up such a story, okay? So I would like to dedicate this video to him, and the person name is Dennis Egglestone, Stone. I'm gonna leave the link below and you check it out. But if you stay with me, please stay with me a little bit more so we can get this out of the way. And I would like to put this man on the record. Like I said, this story, there's many stories out there, just so you know, okay, about Zeta Reticuli. They have all kinds of bells and whistles in them, all kinds of editing techniques, special effects, okay? But the fact is, and I even did some of mine here that got a lot of editing inside, okay? But anyways, this story in particular is just some man in a car, a simple guy, but the story is so high-end, it's just a little bit above everything else, okay? I don't know, so it makes me wonder, did he really receive this message telepathically from this Zeta Reticuli solar system that supposedly is 35, 39 light years away? We have to think if such possibility actually exists. I mean, you have to check this story out yourself. He's just some simple dude. I mean, he's got nothing to do with UFOs. He just talks about this video in particularly just once, him receiving this message. But it's just so strange to me. Like, do such things exist? I mean, because I'm more of a logical person, I don't like to use too much of a fictional things, that are they don't have any nothing to be backed up with. And the only thing I can say about this man is that, yes, he is a tarot card reader and he's a psychic. He's got he's able to foresee the future. So now I'm really questioning if this guy really is capable of doing that. And like I said to you before, I mean, I have my horoscope read, or I seen it on YouTube, and these people, they don't know me, I don't know them, but they seem to know what's going on in my life. And a lot of people have the same feelings regards to this person, and we don't know each other, you know what I mean? And how does this person know what's going on in Capricorn's life, in my private life? He seemed to know. And that just, the complication and mystery of this whole situation. I mean, do such things, X-Men, do they exist? Do they have such powers that the rest of us don't have? Like, do they really have the ability to read the future, to predict the future? It makes you wonder sometimes, and I'm sure you understand what I mean. You probably have your horoscope read, and you wonder, how the heck, right? How do these people know so much about what happened to you? And they never met you before. And they can tell in advance, and that's the mystery behind this whole Dennis Egglestone channel here, particularly this video about Zeta Reticuli. So again, if you're hunting for Zeta Reticuli info, this is the info you probably want to look for, because this seems to be authentic somewhat, from what I'm thinking. It's your choice to decide, but I really think he's got something to say. It's just way too detailed. This story is just something that's written for a movie script, okay? And it's a good movie script on top of that. But the guy looks just like a simple guy in a car. Like, what the heck? I don't get that part. That kind of throws me off right there. So I have to wonder, is his story really authentic here, He knows too much. That's what I'm trying to say. And the fact that he's a tarot card reader, has some psychic abilities, then, that just takes it further. And it's a good example, at least, to talk about this. Do they have the telepathic abilities? This is the key question as far as this video goes, okay? We have an example here of someone who's perhaps authentic, and he's really telling us the truth, like he's capable of receiving these telepathic messages. And he explains this himself, so you better listen to him rather than me, and about his a message from Zeta Reticuli, okay? So it's really all I want to talk about this, but I do want to put this, whatever I can do, put this story up front for as many people to see, okay, to make sure that this story came from him and it doesn't get passed around and then we don't know whose story it is. And but if you did perhaps heard the story somewhere else, if you have some source of information that you can leave in a comment below, please tell me, and then we'll try to correct it somehow. So I'll leave that option open. Perhaps maybe the story came from somewhere else, so that the video can kind of stay up. But let's just say that's where I first saw it so far, and it seems like the story is authentic, okay? And that's the reason why I want to document the story, because it's just some simple dude in a car, like, talking about something high-tech here that just blows your mind away, I wish I had stories like that to tell every day, but I don't. So, again, at least I can tell you a little bit about my channel, okay? Block Tornado. I'm trying to decode things. For instance, the recent thing was with orbs, the Yatlo Pass story that was in 1959, if you heard about that. 9 hikers going into the mountains and were met with the tragedy, and nobody has any explanations up until now. But as I explained there, what could have happened, please check out that video, and it will tell you that the fact is that perhaps there could have been first human mutilation on a record, okay? Because there is someone, a female, had their tongue removed and eyes removed, okay? Now, why would anybody want to do that, okay? Now, this is very common with cattle mutilation, okay? They have their tongue and ears and eyes removed as well, okay? But not just that, there were orbs present in that area, okay? So now that makes you think even more. But I left a clue there for you, which is really another video from another channel from States that kind of connects this two stories together. It's a bridge that it's definitely a fact that orbs were behind this human mutilation, okay? I really think that orbs were responsible. And not just that, check out Lev Ivanov, L-E-V, Ivanov, who was behind the story when this happened, okay? And he also believes, when he was there at the scene, that orbs were present and were responsible for this tragedy at the Yatlo Pass. And not just that, there was some radiation found, and you can understand that there could be some connection with radiation as far as, fireballs, he calls them, these orbs. And I'm a witness of orbs as well, and I can tell you that the story, once you find out at the Yatlo Pass, my video, the Yatlo Pass Orbs Decoded video, you will find out that if you go to blogtornado.com, there's a UFO section, there's a UFO and orb phenomena article, and I talk about my experience. And you'll notice about certain trademarks that these orbs exhibit when this happens, okay, such as flying straight formation, or making no sound, and dividing, okay? The orbs will literally split into two. And this video talks about that. So check out my Yatlo Pass Orbs Decoded, UFO Orbs Decoded, okay? I think it's a final decision there. I really don't think there's any other anything else that could have happened there, or Bigfoot or whatnot, okay? Because again, there's a radiation present, and I know there was a military facility. I know there was indigenous people in nearby. But the fact that the eyes and the tongue was missing, they just gave it away right there. However, Lev Ivanov wasn't able to connect the dots because he didn't have a video, a missing part, which I talk about this, which happened in States. And you might want to check that out, and that will connect the dots like as if no tomorrow, okay? Anyways, again, if you're a truth seeker or you're interested in some real facts, I try to get to the bottom as much as I can with my 2 cents here, and you might find something interesting. It's not an entertainment channel. Again, another example of that is I talk about Travis Walton but no fire in the sky video, okay, where I talk about how this whole fire in the sky video has got nothing to do with what happened to him, okay? That's the things that we talk about, that I like to talk about, okay, because they just sometimes don't add up, and what could have been happening during this abduction stories, which will blow your mind, which was my previous video, okay? And again, it's all interesting to hear, okay? You might be, don't skip that, okay? I'm telling you, find out what really is going on behind, in my previous video before this one, what alien abductions really could be and why are they there, and how are they strategically planned by aliens, and why are they planned in the way they are, okay? So again, this is not an entertainment channel, and I hope you find that fact entertaining, because the truth should be more exciting than some kind of fiction stories here, okay? in a logical kind of way. So, but anyways, that's really up to you to decide. So, but I would like to thank you for staying all the way here. I know I talk a lot, and please come back to see what's going on, and don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe here at the bottom right. That would be much appreciated. And also, I post videos every day, every second day, every third day, and I encourage you to come back. And do leave a comment below if you see in a UFO, okay? So, thank you very much, and I'll talk to you then. Cheers.